Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, I do a regular feature here on money in general, but also a big special focus on sports money and sports business. And Chris Kidd, he kind of oversees that. He's at chriskidd, KIDD.com, chriskidd.com. And we love these stories. I tell you, they've been a lot of fun, a lot of great feedback to people that we've had on. And it looks like today's story is going to be just that rich tradition is going to continue. So, Chris, first of all, tell us a little bit about what you do. And again, you can learn more about him at chriskidd.com. But tell us a little bit about your story, and then introduce your guest for us today.
Well, my background, I come from the sports world, I guess, so to speak. I'm a coach's son, and I've always been around sports. And then I got into business and finance and investing, and basically just learned from a millionaire mentor of mine that took me under his wing when I was 19 and had quite a bit of success over a handful of years. And a friend finally one day suggested that I start sharing that information with others. So today I'm a financial coach, and I help others learn basically what I have learned over the years, and really like working in the sports world, especially with athletes, because that's, like I said, my background. That's where I come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about it. Tell us about your guest.
And my guest today is David Meltzer. He is the CEO of Sports One Marketing, and he also has a book out called Connected to Goodness. And we're really excited about hearing about that. So welcome to the show, David.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
David, tell us a little bit about your background, and then also let's talk a little bit about your book.
Absolutely. I have a very diverse background. I actually played college football and baseball, and then went on to law school to be a sports agent, but ended up not being a sports agent and going into technology, where eventually I ended up as CEO of Samsung's first convergence device, so really the first iPhone, as the world's first Windows CE. And then I retired in my 30s from there and met Lee Steinberg, Jerry Maguire creator, and became the CEO of the world's largest sports agency, where I met Warren Moon. And Warren Moon was a partner of mine there, and we spun off about 4 years ago a marketing arm. So we leveraged the $2 billion in management that Lee, Warren, myself had created in relationship capital over the last 35 years to bring those people to our project. So we don't actually represent athletes anymore, but we market them and market projects along with them.
Yeah, very good. Chris?
So how exactly does that work with y'all's, how you're marketing the projects and you're teaming up with the athletes, since you said you're not representing them? But
Absolutely. It's unique. What we've done is not only leverage this relationship capital by bringing the best-of-breed athletes and celebrities to a project, which then attracts more of the right people, elevates the awareness and exposure of the project, allowing us to maximize the monetization of the project and include all types of profit centers and revenue sources. So we're able to do speaking engagements, appearances, PR marketing, product placement for movies and TV. We executive produce inspirational, aspirational sports content. In fact, we're launching the Inspirational Sports Network, Warren and I. We also, with that type of celebrity or bug light, are able to attract great brands which have huge budgets, which allow us to create revenue and exposure and awareness for those brands as well.
Yeah, very interesting. So, what are you working in specific sports, or do you have clients in several sports?
In all sports. So we actually work specifically with the brands or the projects. So we might do the oldest and largest Pro Bowl party, Super Bowl party, Masters, Kentucky Derby, working with everyone from L'Oreal to Wheels Up, which used to be the Marquis Jet guys, to all types of different apparel companies, in all different spectrums of sports according to what their critical business issues are.
Yeah, very good. Chris?
what would you say some of the benefits are of your particular firm? Like, why would somebody go to you guys versus a competitor?
Yeah, sure. And there isn't many competitors with the same philosophy or strategies that we have. And the reason that people are coming to us and we're growing at a great rate with great success is that two assets that we have that no one else really can compete with is, number one, the relationship capital that Warren and myself had built in a variety of different industries related to sports. Since Warren played till he was 44, he's on the board of trustees of the Hall of Fame, as well as the first African American in the Hall of Fame, as well as we probably sit on about 15 to 20 boards ourselves for either charities or businesses. We're not 6 degrees of separation, but 1 degree of separation, if not directly connected to almost anyone in the sports industry. And then secondly, the resource of having situational knowledge, being able to monetize the irrationality of middle-aged men and women in the United States, and be able to take the emotion out of it, extract the emotion so that we can clearly define a business and a business strategy in order to let that equate and to monetize a successful revenue-generating prospect. So too many people get too excited about just the romance of working in sports and forget that it's a multi-billion-dollar business, and we need to keep a calm head and a majesty of calmness in order to take advantage of that.
David Meltzer, he's with sportsonemarketing.com if you want to learn more about that organization. sportsonemarketing.com. Chris, another question?
Well, I really get the feeling that relationships are really important, at least with you guys. And Warren Moon, certainly, I read the opening part of your book and the foreword that was written by him, and he speaks really highly of you. Is that something that you picked up, when you were working with Lee, or was that something that...
I was brought to a more focused, clear, and balanced perspective when I worked with Lee. Lee had this amazing saying that really brought my attention to the importance of your relationships. He taught everyone that worked with us and ingrained it in me to be kind to your future self. So not only did he establish the first sports agency in the 70s and built the largest sports agency, but it was based off of a philanthropic attitude that he was more concerned about giving back and creating abundance for everyone, and that the most important thing for him was to be kind to his future self, and it was more important to be kind than to be right. And he just had these great sayings like, never negotiate to the last penny, always be fair.
Here you go. Those are good things to live by. Chris Kidd and David Meltzer. Chris Kidd is, again, you can learn more about him at chriskidd.com. And also we've got David Meltzer. You can learn more about him at sportsonemarketing.com. And got to wrap it up. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you. When
we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com.